Today, I'm going to compare two lights, the Zhiyun G60, which is a really great light, against the all-new Zhiyun RGB 60. Now, this is a really impressive little light, so let's get into it. First, it's important for you to know that this is a sponsored review. However, Zhiyun doesn't see the video till you do. I get to say whatever I want. If you want to learn more about those details, I put everything down in the description about how I do sponsored reviews. Moving on to what do you get when you purchase either of these lights. First, let's start with the G60. However, just so you know, I have the combo kit of the G60. There is the cheaper version that comes with fewer items if you would like that. So for the combo kit, you get the light, power delivery cables, a silicone diffuser, a reflector, a Bowens mount adapter, a mesh bag for the power delivery system, a mini tripod, a mini softbox with grid, and a case for everything to go inside. Now for the new RGB 60 light. I also have the combo kit for this one. There is a standard version and a pro version of this light. But what you get with the combo kit is the light, the mini reflector, the silicone diffuser, a USB-C cable, DC power cables, a mesh bag for those cables, a battery grip, and a case for everything to go inside. So as you can see with the G60, you do get a few more accessories when you buy the combo kit. However, with the RGB, you don't get quite as many things, but you do get the battery grip. And this leads us to naturally talking about the features of both of these lights. Starting with the G60, it's a bicolor light with a temperature range of 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. It's dimmable from 0 to 100%. You can power the light via USB-C or with the DC power cables that it comes with. It does have one 1/4-20 mount. It does have the ability to turn live mode on or off, and it is controllable via Bluetooth. For the RGB 60 light, it is bicolor as well from 27 to 6500 Kelvin, dimmable from 0 to 100%, and of course it's RGB, so you got to use all the colors that you could possibly think of with this light. Additionally, it does have a microphone on the light for music mode, so it can listen to noises and respond accordingly. In addition to that, there are 16 programmed effects into the light, and if you haven't noticed already, you can power it via the battery, via USB-C, or DC charging cables. So that's 3 different ways that you can power this light. Additionally, it does have a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom. It does have the ability to turn live mode on or off, and it is controllable via Bluetooth. In short, they do a lot of the same things. This one, however, is battery operated. It also has those special effects and music mode. So it does have a few more things going for it. Oh, just a quick note, you can use the accessories that come with the G60 on the RGB 60. So nice little softbox with a grid. Not bad. Moving on to fan noise and light readings. When it comes to fan noise, I'd say they're both pretty similar to each other. When you have them at lower output, they're a lot quieter. If you're running these at 100% power, they do get pretty loud pretty quickly because obviously they're trying to keep it cool. And at that point, I would say they are quite noticeable. You will probably want to have them a decent distance from a microphone or just, use some controls in your post-processing to remove the noise. If it's any help, I'm using the G60 right now as my key light. It is about 2 feet behind my microphone. The fans on my computer make more noise than the lights. Moving on to light readings, I did use my spectrometer to measure these lights at 1 meter with their included little mini reflectors on them to get a reading on both these lights. In case you weren't aware, bicolor lights are a bit brighter than RGB lights as a whole, so that is going to kind of factor into the differences you'll see here. Now let's talk about hot swapping. Hot swapping, I think, is an important feature to have in any lights that have more than one power delivery method. Both of these have the ability to have at least 2. This one, the RGB, has 3. Without being confusing, they both work exactly the same way, no matter what you're doing. So if you have the USB-C cable plugged in and you want to switch over to a DC power supply, as soon as you plug in the second power delivery method, the light will turn off briefly and then turn back on. And then you can remove that other power delivery system that you didn't want to keep using anymore. Same goes for the battery system here. Is say you have the battery attached, you notice it's drained, and you want to make sure you have power still supplied. If you plug in any power, USB-C or DC at the bottom here, it will turn off temporarily and then come back on. Same settings, same everything you had it set at, and then you can remove the battery. So hopefully that helps you understand how these lights work in a hot swapping situation. There are 2 things you should know about the RGB 60 light, and that is you cannot control music mode or special effects from the app. Unfortunately, you can only control them from the back of the light at this time. I just don't think Zhiyun has made a I don't know, special effects section on their app. Second thing you need to know about the RGB60 is that you cannot charge the battery any other way except for via the USB-C port that's on the battery. That's the only way to charge it. You can't charge it when you have it connected to the light via like the DC cable, for instance. Additionally, make sure when you go to charge it that you're using the cable that comes with this light so as not to screw anything up and have any issues. And in case any of you have watched my video from last week, issues that were going on with the batteries, I was reassured by Zhun that this is an entirely new batch of lights. They're not the same ones that were on the original X100, that there haven't been any problems with them, and that they work properly. If you missed that video, go ahead and watch it. It's at the end of this video. Now I'd like to talk about what I think about both of these lights. I've had the G60, by the way, for I think almost a year now. I bought it myself, whereas the RGB60 I've only had for a few weeks. And here are my thoughts on both of these lights. Starting with the G60, I think that light is great. It really helped revolutionize what lights could look like as far as how small they are. It's super small, lightweight, and those are my favorite aspects of it because you can get it really in so many hard to reach or run and gun situations. Honestly, I love that it's portable, it's small, but my favorite thing is that it's bicolor actually because I use bicolors a lot. I love having color contrast. So for me, the G60 has always been a really fascinating light and one that I enjoy using and I grab many times for just quick stuff. I'll just chuck it in my bag because it's so small. However, the thing that I always wished that the G60 had was a battery option. I know that it has power delivery via USB-C and that I could just grab a USB-C charging battery thing and use that. However, it's not integrated very well. And that's something that I personally like, is something that integrates nicely and it's just easy to use. So that's where the RGB60 has really been really cool for me because I like the idea of the power delivery system via a battery being well integrated. I mean, this thing is so small. I mean, it's tiny. And when you take the battery off, it's even smaller. It's a little bit larger than like a credit card and it's super lightweight and functional. And then when you add the battery, yes, it gets chunky, but that makes it easily handheld so that if you need to use this in a run and gun situation, you just chuck it to somebody, it's up and running. And it's not too heavy with the battery. So I don't mind this. I rather enjoy it. I don't have to think about it. I can quickly attach it and be on my way. It's crazy that a 60 watt RGB light is packaged this small. And this is what I was saying about a year ago when I made that video on the G60, is that I'm really impressed with what Zhun is doing with their lights, showing us that they can be done in different ways than we've been seeing for the last decade or so, and that they can be packaged so that they're made for run and gun or for your studio as well. Both of these lights are great for people who do weddings or who are doing run and gun situations. Maybe you're a street photographer, maybe you're a documentary filmmaker in countries where it's hard to bring a lot of kit with you and you want small, easy, portable options. Granted, they're not intended to be used, I'm sure, for like Hollywood movies, TV sets and whatnot, although you could, but these are definitely designed for us. In short, I love both these lights. I'll be using them all the time. If you want to get them, you can actually get 10% off with my discount code, which is down in the description. Zhun is making that available to you. I'm not sure how long, maybe a few weeks, whatever. So if you're interested in getting the RGB light, you can get 10% off of it right now. I'll put everything down in the description. Make sure you use those links and code in order to get the discount. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.